What's up guys, today we're installing rear axle spacers from GK Tech onto my 350Z. I only got the 10mm, that was all that was available. Actually I don't even know if they're here right now, but we're gonna put those on today. I'll show you the process for the most part. I did already have to disassemble it, and then we'll do a test fit of my rear setup. Currently I gotta go pick up a axle nut set from AutoZone and grab the axle spacers from my mail. So I'm gonna be back in like 2 seconds, and then we'll get beneath the car, take a look at what I've already done to disassemble it, and we'll get the axle out of there and we'll test fit the wheel. Alright, so far all I've done is unbolted the axles from the inside there. You can see the spool of the differential there. It's 6 bolts and 6 nuts. They're all 14mm. I wish I filmed some of it, but I already did both sides because I was bored the other day. But this is as far as I've gotten. You shouldn't have to do anything else. Some people might have to drop their exhaust on this side. I do not, because I only have an axle back. So now I got to get this outside axle nut out, and then I should be able to pull the whole axle out. So I'm going to get started on doing that outer one. Okay, this is the axle nut I need to get out to get to the spacers there. There was a cotter pin. I've already went ahead and removed that, and this is a 32mm. Fits on there nice and snug. I just picked a socket up from AutoZone for like $8. Now before I take it fully off of there, I'm just gonna get a hammer and alright, I just grabbed a small ball peen hammer. Alright, there's the axle about to drop out. I'm just undoing the last few threads of the nut here. I got a hand on it just in case it decides to go quick. Alright, the nut's off, and the axle is out. The axle had a little bit of old grease on it, and that was its only lubricant for the splines there to make sure they don't get seized. I have some silver anti-seize. I'm just going to brush it onto the threads, just in case I do have to pull this back out at any time. I don't want it to be a pain. I'm gonna also grease up the splines inside of the hub, or not grease. I'm gonna put anti-seize on there, and putting it on now would be a little bit premature since I'm not putting it back in immediately. But I have blue Permatex thread locker. I chose to go with blue because I'm going to be taking the axle out occasionally still. Well, hopefully not after it's all finalized. And when I do finalize it, I will use red. But for me, I still need to find some sort of inner axle spacer. Luckily, my friend NRB.Z33 helped me out a lot with figuring out a design for it and everything like that. So now it's just a matter of finding it somewhere to get printed. So the current axle spacer I have, or will be getting in a second here, will go right here, and it'll space this inner part backwards that way and have a 10mm plate right there. The ones I'm trying to get custom made are gonna fit onto the back of this here, and they will have just simple bolt holes and be sandwiched between this outside of the axle and the differential. You can't really hand make them. They're very precise with that bump up in the middle here and stuff like that, so still gotta figure that out. That's why I'm using blue thread locker today. Easy as that. I'm just gonna repeat exactly what I did on the other side. Just clean this off. Using too much anti-seize is never a problem, really. Some people might disagree with me on that, but I'd much rather have the issue of a bolt able to become loose than getting seized one day. And if that means taking a couple extra minutes to put some anti-seize on there, worth it. Alright, I'm gonna open up the axle spacers. It is the same day. It did end up arriving on the same day. Just in a really weird turn of events. Poke a hole, but there's an opening. GK Tech axle 10mm and another quality product. Another quality product. Fantastic. I don't really care. Yeah, I believe it goes this way. So you can see now that it'll space it out 10mm like that. I'm going to set up my light and then show you me getting it back in. So just gonna fish it back up where it was. I got the spline to match up pretty quick there. It's sitting on the e-brake cable. It's fine there. So now I'm gonna get the thread locker on. Okay, there is my subject. I'm just going to put some of that on there, as you can see, and now I'm just gonna thread that nut on there. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. So I got the car in neutral, and the differential is by default in neutral. So as you can see, there's still a little bit of space there, and that is the whole reason why I need to get axle spacers, because there's a gap right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get them all started. Not tightening any of them yet, so I'm gonna have to go around with it like that. Do 3 bolts at a time. Oh, this ain't too bad of a view. Oh crap! Oh crap, Peter. Does look like my axle seals on the differential are seething a little bit, but that's not too big of a concern at the moment. I don't think this will tear apart axles the way it's set up yet. I think if I go more camber, then I'm gonna start tearing axles. But I think at this current setup, I'm okay. Alright, so now I just gotta get those last 3 in. So the whole idea of these is to have less stress on the axle boots, because when you lower them, especially the way my car's set up right now with extended camber arms, it can't reach as easy, you know what I mean? Okay, so now all I'm gonna go do is do the other side all the way up to where we are on this side, and we will reconvene from there. Okay, I am shooting for illustrate. I'm not trying to mess up this camera. I just can't get a good angle on that. My camera battery also said it's dead. That's funny. Like an a-hole. I'm just gonna get them all tight. That's really it though. I just tighten them up until I feel like they're tight. There are torque specs, but I'm just putting them on as tight as I found them. So, okie dokie, I'm going to throw the wheel on there. This is currently at about -10 degrees. I have all the arms on this side sitting where they're supposed to. They're just not fully bolted in. And because of that, I'm not gonna fully tighten on the wheel either. I just don't see a point at the moment. Wheel is now on there and somewhat tight. I just had to make sure the camera was filming. So obviously getting it to drive at this exact fitment would be pretty difficult, or close to impossible. But that's pretty good right there. As you can see from behind, that's what -10 looks like. I really am excited about the way this is turning out. Let me open up my garage a little. So this is kind of what we're looking at. Nice. Alright, I just took some pictures for the thumbnail. I don't really got much more to add to this. I hope you guys got the idea of how to install the axle spacers. They were pretty easy. I didn't have much trouble with them at all. I'm going to release this video separately from the camber video, although it is required for the camber and the car can't be driven without it, it is kind of a thing all of its own, you know what I mean? Even if you just lower the car naturally, you'd want to buy axle spacers. Tom, who is zero camber right now, runs axle spacers just because he has natural camber on his car. And they'll shred the boots just from the angle they sit at. But I feel like this is separate than the camber video, so we'll close on a clip of the Z, and that's where we'll end it.
This 3B Pro